Hi there, Libra. It's Jen from tarotspirit.net. I'm here doing your monthly reading for August 2017. I had started your reading. I was a couple minutes into it, and I had a candle incident. Not with these, but I had a candle up on the shelf up here, and all of a sudden I realized it was sort of burning out of control, so I went to pick it up to blow it out, and I don't know what I did, but I dropped it and I got wax all over the place and I burned my hands. And so I'm going to take that as a sign that you guys need to be careful with fire. I'm just gonna throw that out there, and we'll leave it at that. So my card has literally a coating of wax. I'll spend time after, but I'm in the middle of the reading, so I'll have to fix this deck. It got a nice coating of candle wax on it. So at the bottom, I'm doing a general reading, work, and then love. So from the Silver Witchcraft Tarot, at the bottom of the deck for your general overall energy is the Seven of Pentacles. So the Seven of Pentacles is a card that talks about that some things are a process, and it just takes a certain amount of time. Think of pregnancy, growing crops. They're just things that no matter what you do are going to take a certain amount of time. Now, of course, during pregnancy, you want to be healthy and keep yourself as healthy so the baby grows well. Same thing with crops. You want to make sure it's in good soil and it gets the right amount of sun and water. So there are things you can do to support what's going on, but you can't force it. You can't make it happen any faster than it's going to happen. So I feel like in August you're there's a couple things going on. One thing is that you're feeling stuck. You're feeling like nothing's happening, nothing's moving in your life, and it's frustrating you. But you have to remember, a farmer or a pregnant woman, like, they could get all upset and why isn't it growing faster, and get angry and expend a whole lot of energy that's just futile, because the baby's going to take as long as it is to grow. It just is. It takes that long for a baby to grow, and it takes that long for corn to grow. So be careful you're not expending your energy being frustrated about things that's a process. I mean, it takes the moon. The moon goes through its cycles. You can't manifest a full moon if the new moon just happened. You're not going to get a full moon the next day. It's just not going to happen. So a little bit of acceptance, but you can do things in that time, though. You don't have to make sure you're not expending your energy negatively. You can use the seemingly downtime or where nothing's happened, use it to your advantage. Take opportunity of the fact that, well, this other thing can't go anywhere right now, because, I mean, when you buy a house, like getting a mortgage and closing, it just takes a certain amount of time. And so just make sure you're not expending energy being frustrated about things that just are the way they are. There is a little bit of denial for you on maybe you're actually holding things back and you don't want to admit it. You're sort of deflecting blame and saying, oh, well, they're not doing this or they're not doing that, and that's why things aren't happening. But maybe on some level there's a little bit of self-sabotage going on, a little bit of denial. Maybe you're digging your feet in and you're just sort of not seeing your part in a situation. The way you're thinking about it is just not. You need to shift your perspective this month about how you're looking at a situation that's frustrating you. And the Queen of Wands is here, and she's actually out here twice. She's a queen that when she has a goal, like some of the younger wands signs. It's like, think about fire, wands, ignition. You can, if you throw like an old pine tree on a fire, it will flame up beautifully, but it dies out really fast. So the wand's energy can be fleeting, and it can be difficult to keep that flame going, keep that passion going, keep that enthusiasm going. But this mature queen, she knows how to keep her motivation, and she doesn't let setbacks extinguish her flame. She doesn't throw in the towel. She keeps her eye on the prize, and she just understands that setbacks aren't necessarily, that not to give in, not to throw in the towel just because everything isn't going exactly the way you want it to. So she will sort of try to find the opportunity again in the situation. So if things feel like they're not moving for you this month, really, really challenge yourself to look at it from a different perspective. See if maybe it's like, okay, you know, this is actually giving me a chance to review it, to look at other options, to, you know what I mean? I think there's a silver lining in some area that you might miss if you're spending too much time just like bitching and complaining about it, as opposed to saying, okay, well, there's nothing I can do about that right now, but what can I do? Or what is this giving me the opportunity to sort of reassess or think about in a different way? So the next cards are the Ostara Tarot, and it's for work. And at the bottom of the deck is the Judgment card. So you're going to make a decision. It's like, I'm taking a new job. I'm getting a new job. Like I think this change in perspective that's happening up in the general reading, once you start looking at things in a different way, regardless of what part of your life that happens, it initiates, you're going to see everything in your life differently. So maybe you felt tied. I mean, she's tied to this tree, and it's like she can't quite cut the cord. So it's like you need to cut the cord. And it could be that you've been too patient, and that maybe you're not accepting that the seed you planted rotted in the ground or something got it, and it's never going to grow. So if you don't see anything happening, maybe you need to cut your losses and realize it's time to move on. But you're going to make a decision where in your career to either so I'm looking at the other cards. You have the Devil here. This is feeling chained. With the Devil and the Eight of Swords, it's like feeling chained, denial. You could even be a codependent relationship at work. Maybe you have a boss that always keeps moving the goalpost on you. It's never good enough, no matter what. I had a boss like that. I am a good worker. Like, I'm a hard worker. And we would have 90 days to process these things that came out. I submitted one. It came out in the afternoon on one day. The next day, I did it. So I had 90 days. I did it the next day. She comes over and she looks, she's like, oh, well, I guess you couldn't have done it much sooner. But the tone was like, she was just, I don't know what was wrong with her. She ended up getting fired actually after I left. She was just she couldn't please her. So, but then you're like, oh, I have to stay here because of this, this, and this, and this. And it's like, be careful. It's time to make a decision. Like, it's time. You have the King of Wands here. It's time to figure out what you're passionate about, where you really want to expend your energy, because expending your energy trying to please someone that's unpleasable is futile. Speaking of futile. So what areas of your life are futile, and where do you need to make some cuts, some changes, break free, cut those ties and get away. Don't stay tied to something. I mean, this tree, I don't know if the grass is pretty green, so this looks like a dead tree to me. And there's a storm coming. That's the worst place to be, in a lightning storm. The birds are leaving. Why are you staying in some situation? It's be determined to get out. Be determined. The King of Wands, he's again a mature king. He knows how to stay motivated. Be determined to find a better path. Find a place that appreciates the energy, enthusiasm, and passion that you bring to a job. So you have to make a decision. You know, what are you going to find a healthy place in your work environment? Find a healthy place that appreciates you and the energy you bring to work, to your craft, to your job. And make some decisions and make some changes and cut ties that you need to cut. It's kind of interesting. There are no eggs, and the bird's still over the nest. It's like there's nothing there. It's time to move on at work for some of you. And also, you know, when the devil comes up, it's like, don't, even if you don't want to leave your jobs, don't allow someone in the job atmosphere that's kind of codependent or negative, or like, don't give your power away to them. Make a decision that, you know, no, I'm not going to feed into that energy, because it's all about energy. And those types of people just want to create negative energy and feed if you've ever listened to Eckhart Tolle's A New Earth, feed their pain body. It's like, no, your fucked up shit is not my issue. And learn to protect yourself and cut ties with those types of people. Don't allow yourself to get sucked into things like that. Now, in the love cards, you have the wish card at the bottom of the deck here. And so, make your wish wisely. It's kind of like you get 3 wishes, and just be really thoughtful about what you're wishing for, and that it's not a reaction. Like, I just want someone with a stable job. It's like, well, okay, maybe you dated someone that didn't have a stable job, and so that it's almost a knee-jerk reaction. The most important thing is that they have a stable job. Well, they could still be not a nice person or not a good match for you. So, like, think of the bigger picture again. Get some perspective and make sure that the intentions you're putting out there are going to bring in the energies that you want. The Queen of Wands, she's passionate, she's sexy. So there's going to definitely be, I would say, some passion for you guys. Maybe some passion in a new relationship, or really breathing some passion into an existing relationship. You're buying some lingerie. If you're a guy, setting up some romantic dates or something, really putting some effort in this month. Really working at your relationship. This card is all about finding some special things to do together that are enjoyable, that you really are just present with each other, and you're not like bitching about work or bitching about the in-laws, or if you have kids, have date night. Really carve out some time to spend with each other and honor your relationship. Now, the Judgment card showed up down here too. So for some of you, you may be like, I want passion back in my life, and I don't have that anymore. And I'm sick of working on the relationship, and I'm not getting the rewards for the amount of time and energy I'm putting in. So I'm going to make a decision that this relationship's sucking the soul out of me. I want something that's positive and adding to my relationship. We do have the Devil up here. I know it's in the work situation, but that codependent relationship is not something you want to stay in. So cutting ties this month with some areas of your life and getting your passion back. We have the Queen of Wands twice in the King. These are passionate people that live with zest and enthusiasm. So if you found that your mojo's gone, your fire's going out, you're having trouble, like your pilot light went out, some more stray wax from my candle incident. Find a way to breathe life back into your life. And I feel like my life is just stagnant. Make some decisions about, what, maybe you have been too patient. Maybe you've planted the seeds and they're just not going to grow. So assess where you are. If you haven't given enough time, what's an appropriate fair amount of time to really figure out if we can make this relationship work, this job work, this home situation work, where I live work, where, you know what I mean? What's an appropriate time? You can ask people, what's an appropriate time? And then give yourself a time frame and then really stick to it. It's like, I stayed at this job 2 years and I just can't figure out a way to make it any better. Well, it's time to make some decisions. I've been working on this relationship and it was just not working, or I haven't worked on this relationship at all. I actually need to put some time in and tend to my work, my relationships, things like that, and understand that's a process and give that process a chance to work. So weighing those different, where are you in denial? Where do you need to cut things go? And where do you actually need to put more energy into it to give it a fair shot? Okay, well, thank you for watching, Libra, and I hope you have a wonderful month. Take care.